This simulation is going to help us to understand why hot objects like magma and lava and hot air rise, and why cold objects like cold air and cold water tend to sink. So let's concentrate on this one on the left over here. So on the left, what you're looking at is a cup, and the cup has a lid, and that lid can move up and down. So this is called a piston. So inside this piston, you're seeing that you have air molecules, and the air molecules are moving. And remember, we defined the motion of an air molecule as just temperature. So that if you have a high temperature, what that means is that the air molecules are moving very fast, as you can see here. And at a low temperature, what that means is that the air molecules are moving very slowly. So why is it that hot objects tend to rise? So as you increase the temperature, the air molecules, because they're moving faster, they're hitting on the lid or this piston with more force, and that's able to push the piston upwards. And because of that, you have the same number of air molecules, but now they're occupying more space. So this means that the air becomes less dense here. So the reason why it's less dense is because it's hotter, and the reason why it's hotter is because the air molecules are moving they're moving faster, and they're able to exert more force on this piston here. The other case, we're going to see that cold objects tend to sink. So let's cool this thing down. So as you cool it down, you notice that the air molecules are moving more slowly, and because they're moving more slowly, they have a lower temperature, and also because they're moving more slowly, they're hitting the wall of this piston with less force. So that means that because they can't resist the lid pressing down on them, so that means that they're going to occupy a smaller volume. So colder objects, they occupy a smaller volume. So because of that, they become more dense, and more dense objects tend to sink. So the basic idea is that hot objects, they have a lower density, and they tend to rise because there's the same amount of stuff occupying more space. And cold objects, they have a higher density, so you can see it's the same amount of stuff, but it's occupying less space. And cold objects tend to sink.